I'll never forget the way she looked at me. Her eyes were like black holes, pulling everything in. No light, no life. And that smile? It was like something dark from a dream, twisted and wrong. It was a hot afternoon in EWE Village when I first saw Queen Anatu. The air felt thick, like it was holding its breath. The whole village had been talking about her, whispering behind closed doors. People said she was cruel, that she had strange powers, but nobody dared speak too loudly. Not even the elders. I was just a boy, helping my uncle in the fields. We were at the edge of the village when the royal procession passed. The sound of drums came first, and then the dust clouded the road. People ran to the sides to watch, but they didn't cheer. They just stood there, staring with eyes full of fear. Queen Anatu rode on a big white horse. She wore a long, dark robe with golden threads that glittered like stars, but there was nothing beautiful about it. Her face was pale, almost ghostly, with sharp features and eyes that didn't blink. They were cold, empty, and they seemed to look through me like I wasn't even there. Her soldiers marched behind her, their faces hidden behind masks, black, shiny masks that made them look like shadows. The men's eyes were hard like stones, and their lips didn't even move. I couldn't tell if they were human. That day, I didn't know the true power of the queen. I thought she was just a regular ruler, but I was wrong, very wrong. A few weeks after that, my uncle sent me to the village to buy some grain. When I got there, I saw people running, shouting, but there was no sound, just panic. I tried to ask an old man what was happening, but he grabbed my arm and pulled me into a hut. His breath was hot and shaking. "She's coming," he whispered. "The queen, she's coming for us." I didn't understand. What did he mean? But when I looked outside, I saw her, Queen Anatu, riding down the road with her men, the same cold look on her face. I could feel the ground tremble beneath her horse's hooves. The people were scared, but not for the reasons I thought. They weren't scared of a normal queen. They were scared because she wasn't just a queen. She was a witch. That night I saw it. She walked through the village, her robe flowing behind her, her eyes glowing like embers. She didn't speak, just raised her hands, and the air grew cold. People began to scream, but there was no escape. Her soldiers moved fast, grabbing people, pulling them away from their homes. It felt like she was taking their life force. I don't know how else to explain it. I hid in a corner, holding my breath, watching everything. Queen Anatu didn't even look at the people she took. She just moved her fingers and they were dragged away. The soldiers never said a word. The next morning, the village was silent. No one spoke of what happened. When I went to the market, it was empty. The air was still, but there was something else. Something wrong. The faces of the villagers had changed. They were pale, like ghosts, their eyes dull and lifeless. No one smiled anymore. I wanted to run, but I knew better. You can't escape a queen like her. Months passed, and I kept hearing stories about how people from other villages were vanishing. Always in the same way. People would see her on horseback, hear the drums, and then they were gone. I tried to leave, but the path out of the village was blocked. Every time I turned to go, I would see her, Queen Anatu, standing in the distance, watching me with that cold, empty gaze. And somehow, I knew that if I ran, she would find me. So I stayed. Even now, I can't leave. The village is different now. People are still afraid of her, and they whisper about the things she's done, about the people she's taken. Every time I see her, my heart stops for a moment. She's always the same,